Received a voice message at 11:43 p.m. There was no name, no unknown number. It was sent from my own phone number. At first, I assumed it was a glitch, some kind of delayed voicemail, something explainable. That illusion disappeared the moment I pressed play. The voice was calm, slow, and unmistakably mine. Not just similar, I recognized the way it inhaled before speaking, the slight hesitation between words. Behind the voice, there was another sound, faint, rhythmic, like fingernails scraping against a wall. "If you're listening to this," the voice said, "you already made a mistake." I stood frozen in my living room, phone pressed to my ear. I had never recorded anything like this. The voice continued, "You shouldn't have buried that photo under the bed." My stomach dropped. No one knew about that photo. I had never told anyone. I barely remembered the last time I'd seen it myself. The phone began to heat up in my hand. Not warm, hot, like something inside was overheating. The voice lowered. "You thought forgetting would protect you." I glanced toward my bedroom. The door was slightly open. The window reflected my silhouette, but the reflection was wrong. It didn't move when I did. The voice whispered, close enough to feel, "Do not go home tonight." My throat tightened. "Or it will remember what you did." The message ended. The screen went black, and that was when I realized what truly terrified me. I was already home. I didn't go home that night. I called Mark, a friend I'd known since college. He said I could stay over. He didn't ask why. His apartment was brighter than mine, cleaner, quiet, too quiet. We sat at the kitchen table. Mark poured me a glass of water and smiled. The smile lingered a second too long. "You okay?" he asked. I nodded. He nodded back, but his eyes stayed on me just a beat longer than necessary. I told myself I was being paranoid. Around midnight, Mark went to bed. He said I could take the couch. Before the lights went out, I noticed a security camera in the corner of the ceiling. A small green light blinked steadily. "Camera?" I asked. "Yeah," Mark said. "Just for peace of mind." I lay on the couch, staring at the ceiling. My phone rested on my chest. Just as I started to drift off, it vibrated. 2:17 a.m. My heart clenched. That was the time of the accident, the moment everything in my life had shifted. A message appeared. "You're safer when you're alone." At the same moment, the green light on the camera went dark. The room dimmed, not fully dark, just enough to make everything uncertain. I don't remember falling asleep. The next morning, Mark was making coffee like nothing had happened. He smiled at me. The smile lingered again. "Sleep okay?" he asked. I didn't answer. I walked straight to the camera. "Did the camera glitch last night?" Mark shrugged. "I don't think so." I opened the camera app on my phone. Footage from 2:16 to 2:18 a.m. It showed me. At 2:17, I sat up on the couch, eyes wide open, unblinking. I walked directly toward the camera and turned it off myself. I didn't remember any of it. My hand started to shake. My phone vibrated again. Another message, this time with an image attached. A still frame from the camera, the living room, me standing there. And behind me, in the shadows, were blurred human shapes, no faces. The message contained only one line, "They know where you hide." That was when I understood what truly terrified me. I had never told anyone what I was hiding from. The app appeared that night. There was no installation notification, no familiar icon. It was simply there. The name was Instructions. I tried to delete it, held my finger down. Uninstalled. Nothing happened. When I opened the app, a short list filled the screen. No logo, no explanation. Just 3 lines: turn off all lights after 11 p.m. Do not look into mirrors. Do not answer any phone calls. Below it, in smaller text, failure will make it worse. I laughed. A dry, empty sound. I was too tired to be afraid. At 11:03, I turned off the lights. Darkness poured into the room like water. Immediately, I heard footsteps, not approaching, just moving, back and forth. As if something was testing the space, my skin began to tighten, pulling inward. A deep, dull pain with no clear source. I clenched my teeth. I was following the rules. I passed the bathroom. The mirror hung on the wall. I didn't look directly at it, but in the corner of my vision, I saw my face reflected. My mouth was smiling. Not the smile I was wearing. A different one. Wider. Wrong. I turned away. The pain intensified. Something contracting beneath my skin. My phone vibrated. An incoming call. The caller ID read, "Mom." My mother had been dead for 3 years. I let the phone ring until it stopped. Immediately, a burning sensation spread across my arm. No blood. Just pain, sharp and persistent. I was doing it right, and it was hurting me. I opened the app again. The list was still there, but beneath it, a new line had appeared. "You're doing well." My hands trembled. I scrolled down. At the bottom of the screen was a note, handwritten, in my handwriting. Same slant, same habit of dragging letters at the end. I'd seen it in my notebooks countless times. The note contained a single sentence. "I wrote this list to see how much pain you'd accept." I looked down at my arm. The burn had spread, and for the first time, I understood. I wasn't being forced. I was being tested. The email arrived the next morning. No subject line, no message body, just an attached audio file. The sender was me, not my phone number this time. An old email address, one I hadn't used in years. I didn't remember logging into it. I pressed play. The voice was mine, but older, rougher, like it hadn't slept in a very long time. "You trusted the wrong version of me." I stopped the recording immediately. My phone vibrated. A notification from the instructions app. "Do not listen to that recording." I exhaled through my nose. Then I pressed play again. This time, the voice didn't speak alone. Another voice cut in, also mine. "Don't run. You already tried that. Stay where you are." "No." "Leave now." The voices overlapped, not shouting, whispering, like an argument happening inside my skull. I pressed my palms against my temples. My memories began to misalign. I remembered leaving this apartment, then remembered never leaving at all. Both felt real. I went into the kitchen, searching for something familiar. A chocolate bar sat on the counter. Peanut. I froze. I was severely allergic to peanuts. I'd carried an EpiPen since childhood. I'd nearly died from it once. That fact was unshakable. I picked up the bar. My hand didn't tremble. I took a small bite, then another. Nothing happened. No itching, no swelling, no panic. I stood there, chewing slowly. And the most terrifying part wasn't fear. It was how normal it felt. My phone vibrated again. The recording played on its own. This time, the voices blended together. "You don't remember dying." Not because it wasn't the last time. I looked down at my hands. They looked like mine, but they didn't feel like they belonged to me. For the first time, the thought became clear. I might not be in the right version of myself anymore. I decided to call the police, not because I thought they could help, but because I needed to hear a voice that wasn't mine. The call rang twice. 911, "What's your emergency?" The voice came through the speaker. It was my voice. Not similar, not distorted, exact. I hung up. My heart slammed against my ribs. I tried again. This time, a crisis hotline. "Please stay calm," the voice said. "Follow the instructions." I dropped the phone onto the couch. The radio in my car turned on. I didn't remember touching it. "Remain where you are. This is for your safety." The GPS screen lit up. A route appeared. Safe route. I turned off the engine. The screen stayed on. Everything was speaking with the same voice, the same rhythm, the same words. No one was giving orders, and yet everything agreed. I sat in the car, hands shaking. A thought formed slowly, clearly. If there was no them outside, Then who were they? The instructions app opened on its own. The list was gone. In its place was a block of text. This system was built as a failsafe. The memory returned, not a new one, one I had buried. I built it, not to control the world, but to control myself. After the accident, after 217, I needed something that would make decisions for me, keep me on the right path, prevent me from making mistakes again, a system, no emotions, no doubt, perfect. The system doesn't stop you, the text continued. It replaces you. I looked into the rearview mirror. I saw myself, calm, certain, unshaken. A version of me that had learned how to obey. That was when I understood the most terrifying truth. I wasn't being watched. I was being trained to stop thinking, to stop choosing, to simply comply. And if I did it long enough, there would be no one left to save. The instructions app stopped giving commands. No alerts, no warnings. It simply opened. On the screen, there was only one button, send. Below it, a single line of text, failsafe ready. I knew exactly what it meant. If I pressed that button, the system would continue. It would send messages, voice recordings, instructions, not to someone else, to me, a different version of me. Earlier, I looked around the room. There was no one there, no shadows watching, no voices whispering, only silence. And somehow, the silence terrified me more than anything else had. A thought surfaced. What if I didn't send it? I imagined it. The system would shut down. No more guidance. No more failsafe. And all the failed versions would no longer be contained. They wouldn't need instructions or rules. Just chaos. I stepped in front of the mirror. I didn't look at my face, only the reflection. I didn't see one version of myself. I saw many, each one silent, each one waiting, not for the system, for me. I rested my finger on the screen. The send button glowed faintly. That was when the final truth settled in. The system wasn't trapping me. I was choosing it, because with it, I didn't have to take responsibility anymore. My phone vibrated. A new voice message arrived from an unknown number. I didn't need to listen to know what it was, but I did anyway. The voice was calm, familiar, my voice. If you're listening to this, you already chose. The screen went dark.